Hey there, Bingers. Are you ready for your next obsession? Every week, we'll dive deep into a new rabbit hole exploring the fascinating, the strange, and the utterly unforgettable. From true crime sagas to pop culture phenomena to historical mysteries and scientific breakthroughs, nothing is off limits. The podcast today is a little introspective, and I want to throw out a round of apologies right off the bat for that. But also, if it's your thing, then you're welcome. Get ready to lose track of time because once you start, you won't want to stop. This is The Binge.
It's the Binge Podcast where everything's a blast. It's the Binge Podcast. Come join us fast.
The Morning Commute. It's a universally accepted truth, etched into the very fabric of human existence, that the morning commute is a special kind of hell. The air is thick with the scent of lukewarm coffee and simmering resentment, a vile perfume that clings to your jacket. The bus driver looks like he's just emerged from a protracted and deeply personal argument with a badger and lost. Every single person on board is a study in muted misery, silently contemplating their own unique, soul-crushing obligations. And you know what? It's absolutely fucking brilliant. I used to think of it as a low-grade punishment, a daily dose of urban purgatory designed to test my patience and sanity. There was this one Tuesday in January I'll never forget. A truly majestic clusterfuck. We were stuck behind a delivery truck the size of a small moon, its exhaust belching a kind of thick gray doom. A guy to my left was listening to a podcast about competitive sheep shearing at a volume that could probably be heard in the next country. My initial thought, as a wave of claustrophobia washed over me, was, well, this is a special kind of bullshit. Then, as the bus lurched to a halt, a woman's grocery bag ruptured, spilling a cascade of apples down the aisle, and I swear to Christ, one of them rolled perfectly under the seat of a very large man who was, by all accounts, fast asleep. It was an epic slow-motion disaster. But then, something truly strange happened. Instead of erupting into a chorus of grumbles and tuts, a collective sigh of resigned amusement rippled through the bus. The sheep-shearing enthusiast pulled out his earbuds, the sleeping giant woke up, saw the rogue apple, and gave a slow, bewildered grin. A kid, no older than 4, pointed a chubby finger and shouted, "Apple go bye-bye!" Everyone laughed. For a single fleeting moment, the misery was replaced by a shared, pointless, and utterly delightful moment of pure, unadulterated absurdity. It was a damn comedy show, and we were all in the front row. This is the secret, I've decided. The real beauty of the world isn't in its pristine, Instagram-filtered moments of perfection, the sunsets, the sparkling beaches, the quiet, uninterrupted bliss. No, the real beauty is in the chaotic, often frustrating, little bits of human error and shared struggle. The world is full of things that are objectively a pain in the ass. Traffic jams, misread instructions, soggy cereal, and it's in those moments that we have the chance to be our most surprisingly graceful selves. It's a subtle act of defiance, a quiet victory against the mundane. We find ourselves in these ridiculous situations, and instead of crumbling, we just deal with it together. It's a lesson you can't learn in a goddamn textbook. It's about the shared recognition that sometimes life is a mess. It's about seeing a stranger drop a full tray of coffee cups in a packed lobby and not flinching because you know that pain. You've been that person, and you know that kind of strength it takes to pick up the pieces and pretend it didn't just happen. We are all just a collection of imperfect moments bumbling through our day with a sort of chaotic, unintentional poetry. So next time your shitty commute gets even shittier, or your morning coffee tastes like sadness, take a moment to look around. You might just catch a glimpse of the glorious, beautiful shit show that is humanity. It's out there every single day, and it's fucking brilliant. The inescapable tyranny of self-consciousness. It's a Sunday afternoon, and I am in a coffee shop, or rather, I am in a vast goddamn field of carefully curated passive aggression and the ambient hum of 100 small-scale dramas all playing out at once, and my role in this particular shit show is to find a seat and order a large black coffee with a single source name that probably means nothing. The first observation, which is not really an observation at all, but more of a precognitive gut-level dread, is that there are no available seats by a window. This is a problem because the window seat is a tacit declaration of purpose, a statement of intent. I am a person who sits, who reads, who works, and who, with any luck, is too deep in the throes of their own brilliant interior life to be bothered by your proximity. The absence of such a seat is a problem, a serious problem, and the only remaining real estate is a miserable, wobbly little table in the dead center of the room, near the bathroom door, which is an open invitation for every single person who passes by to register your existence in the most humiliating, public way imaginable. And so I stand there, a human-sized fulcrum of indecision, a walking, breathing monument to the futility of it all. I am acutely aware of the barista's eyes, a pair of polite, vacant orbs that have seen 1,000 souls just like me, all trying to act like their neurosis aren't a palpable third presence in the air. I am also acutely aware of the girl with the nose ring and the laptop who has just registered my indecision with a slight, almost imperceptible shake of her head. The shake is meant to be a private act of contempt, an aside to herself, a little piece of nonverbal theater designed to let me know, without ever having to say a fucking word, that I am an amateur at this whole being in public thing. It's a monument of profound, paralyzing self-reference, a kind of metaphysical feedback loop where the more you analyze your own performance, the awkward slouch, the nervous shuffling of feet, the way you've been holding your keys in your hand for 3 solid minutes for no reason, the more you realize that the performance itself is the only thing that's real. It's like trying to understand the nature of a mirror by staring into it until your reflection starts to look back at you with a kind of horrible, knowing pity. The coffee, when it arrives, is perfect in a way that seems almost obscene. A beautiful, dark brown liquid that somehow mocks the whole chaotic, soul-crushing experience of having to procure it. I carry it back to my little table of shame, and as I settle in, I can feel the phantom pressure of a million judgments. The laptop girl, the guy in the corner with the vintage paperback, the couple whispering over a single muffin, they are all, in my own warped and self-absorbed imagination, the audience to a play of my own clumsy devising, a play in which I am the perpetually uncool, hopelessly self-conscious protagonist. The coffee itself is a simple, straightforward thing, but the act of drinking it in this particular context is a whole other thing entirely. It's an act of defiance, a quiet middle finger to the suffocating weight of social performance. It says, I am here, and I will drink this coffee, and I don't give a goddamn. Even though the truth is, I give a monstrous, all-consuming goddamn. And that, I think, is the true terror of it all. The knowledge that even our most private acts in this modern, hyper-aware world are nothing more than a series of hollow, desperate gestures, all choreographed to hide the screaming void inside. After a few minutes of trying to ignore the constant procession of people heading to and from the restroom, I notice a new subject of inquiry, the woman at the adjacent table. She is aggressively, almost violently engaged in a video call. She holds her phone at a precise upward angled distance as if trying to capture the most flattering possible version of her own chin, and her voice, while not loud, has the certain timbre of a forced enthusiasm, a performative cheerfulness designed to convey a kind of frictionless, enviable life. She keeps saying super great and amazing, and I totally get that. Each phrase delivered with the synthetic warmth of a microwaved burrito. I find myself fixated on the tiny, almost invisible speck of dried coffee on the rim of her mug, and it becomes, in my mind, a metaphor for the whole scene. A small, ugly imperfection on an otherwise polished surface, a constant nagging reminder that the illusion of perfection is just that, an illusion, and that the genuine, messy substance of life is always leaking through the cracks. The concrete cathedral. The city is a wet dream for an insomniac god, a sprawling cathedral of concrete and glass where every damn pew is occupied by a person praying to a different screen. We're all here, 100,000, a million, all breathing the same shit air, and none of us here at all. It's an exercise in proximity without contact, a vast social experiment in which the only observable conclusion is that we're all better off with headphones on. A grand, cosmic joke for a god who's maybe a bit of a poet, but for a bastard in a cheap suit, it's just another goddamn day. I call it the fucking truth. It starts every morning with the same ritualistic detachment, the fluorescent buzz of the subway, a sound like a hive of digital hornets, and the blank, terrified faces staring at illuminated rectangles in their palms. They're scrolling through other people's lives, a ceaseless, pixelated parade of curated happiness, all while their own souls are shriveling like raisins in the sun. What are we chasing? The algorithm, the great omniscient puppet master, is whispering promises of connection, but it's a lie. It's always been a lie. We're not connecting, we're just trading ghosts, little digital effigies of who we pretend to be. It's a transaction, not a conversation, a sterile, meaningless exchange of dopamine hits. And for what? For the privilege of feeling slightly less alone while being utterly, absolutely, and fundamentally by yourself? It's a beautiful racket, I'll give it that. And then there's the work, the fluorescent lit abattoir where we trade our finite time for an endless hollow currency. We sit in rows tethered to our desks like cattle, punching keys and answering emails and generating reports that no one will ever read. We speak a new corporate mandated dialect of meaningless buzzwords, synergy, metrics, thought leadership, a verbal anesthesia designed to numb us to the fact that we're selling our souls on an hourly basis. It's a different kind of cathedral, one with cubicle walls for stained glass and the hum of servers for a hymn. We pretend it's meritocracy, but it's just another hamster wheel, another illusion of upward motion that only serves to keep us running in place. The architecture reflects the interior. It's all straight lines and cold steel, a minimalist tomb for our emotional baggage. The city hums with a low, constant dread, an electric current of anxiety that's impossible to turn off. You see it in the way people walk, a purposeful, head-down trudge, as if moving a few feet faster might somehow outrun the gnawing emptiness. The rain doesn't wash away the grime, it just smears it around, a kind of melancholic finger painting on the pavement. Every alleyway is a whispered confession, every flickering billboard a hollow promise. It's also goddamn poetic in its ugliness. We've built a monument to our own isolation, a sprawling, magnificent testament to the fact that we don't want to be found. The temples of commerce, the shopping malls, and big box stores are monuments to our consumerist religion. We pilgrimage to them, armed with plastic cards and a vague sense of inadequacy. We buy things we don't need to impress people we don't like, a desperate attempt to fill the void with material possessions. The products on the shelves, slick and polished and perfect, whisper the same hollow promises as the algorithm. Buy me, they say, and you'll be happier. You'll be whole. But all they deliver is a brief chemical high and another piece of junk to gather dust in our cramped apartments. The waste piles up in landfills, a forgotten sprawling monument to our fleeting desires. We are what we buy, and we are also the fucking garbage we throw away. The night doesn't change a goddamn thing, it just puts a filter on it. The city bleeds neon and alcohol. The bars fill up with lonely souls shouting over music that's too loud, desperately trying to construct a temporary fortress of camaraderie. They're telling lies to strangers and half-truths to themselves, believing for a fleeting moment that this shared space, this brief collision of desperation, might mean something. But at 2 a.m., the fortress dissolves. The laughter is just echoed noise, the stories are just borrowed identities, and everyone stumbles out into the unforgiving street to find their way back to their solitary nests. The rain and the glow of the streetlights just make it all look more cinematic, a cheap special effect to distract from the fact that nothing ever truly happens. And the information. Jesus Christ, the information. It's a tidal wave of useless data, a constant barrage of notifications and headlines and alerts that flood the mind and drown out any hope of original thought. We're not just addicted to our screens, we're addicted to the endless stream of noise, the comforting static that prevents us from ever having to confront the silence. It's an intellectual pacifier, a crutch for a species that's forgotten how to be bored. We consume, we click, we scroll. We've turned our brains into garbage disposals for the internet's refuse, and we celebrate it as a sign of progress. It's a slow, deliberate lobotomy, a collective lobotomy with 1,000 different apps and a fucking like button. Even our suffering has been commodified. The wellness industry, yoga studios and meditation apps and kale smoothies has turned our misery into a marketplace. We're told to find our inner peace by paying a subscription fee. Our trauma is a hashtag, our anxiety a brand. They sell us on the idea that we can optimize ourselves, that we can click and buy our way to enlightenment. But it's just another distraction, another shiny thing to chase. They sell us the cure, but they're the ones peddling the disease. It's the ultimate self-delusion, the most pathetic and beautiful lie of all. The belief that you can fix your broken soul by buying a new fucking jacket. And in the end, what's left? Just the noise. The sirens, the chatter, the constant hum of a million machines working to keep the illusion alive. There's no grand revelation, no sudden moment of clarity where we all tear off our masks and embrace each other. That's for the movies, the ones with the big stupid budgets and happy endings. The reality is a slow, quiet surrender. We simply keep scrolling, keep walking, keep pretending. The city is a masterpiece, a beautiful and terrifying work of art, and we are its finest, most broken exhibits. The only victory is seeing the game for what it is, and maybe, just maybe, laughing your fucking head off at the absurdity of it. If you like this podcast, please like and subscribe. Are you tired of financial literacy books that feel like they were written by robots? You know, the ones that are so dry you need a glass of water just to get through a chapter? Well, I felt that same way, which is why I wrote Get Rich. Now let me be clear, I'm not some fancy financial guru with a string of certifications. What I am is someone who's figured a few things out on my own journey to accumulating wealth. I've made mistakes, I've learned valuable lessons, and along the way I've gained some insights I genuinely believe can help you too. In Get Rich, I've poured all of that knowledge into a book that's written in my voice, the same voice you hear right here on the podcast. It's practical, it's relatable, and most importantly, it's designed to be anything but boring. If you're ready to learn about money without falling asleep, then Get Rich is for you. You can find the link to purchase it in the show notes of this episode. Go check it out.
You know by now, got stories to tell, from the small to the grand, all under one spell. We talk about this, we laugh about that, from the strange to the bliss. Get ready to chat. It's the Binge Podcast, where everything's a blast. It's the Binge Podcast, come join us fast. By now, got stories to tell, from the small to the grand, all under one spell. We talk about this, we laugh about that, from the strange to the bliss. Get ready to chat. It's the Binge Podcast, where everything's a blast. It's the Binge Podcast, come join us fast. Where everything's a blast. It's the Binge Podcast, come join us fast. You know by now, to the place, get ready to chat. It's the Binge Podcast, where everything's a blast. It's the Binge Podcast, come join us fast.